Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to add many new elements and/or aspects of the Star Wars franchise that fans have never seen before on the big screen. That's going to change how we view not only The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, but the entire Skywalker saga as a whole. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, what's really interesting to me at least about Episode 9 is of course exactly how the Force is going to be utilized in this movie through many of the different characters like Kylo Ren, Luke, even, Rey and other characters out there as well. We do know that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are really trying to add in a lot of Force lore as well as Jedi and Sith lore into the story in order to really bring things full circle and to really interconnect all the movies into one big epic movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of January included both Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, and Adam Driver, where it said that they filmed a vital scene over in Cardington, where a 360-degree green screen was surrounded around them that will later be keyed in with complex special effects. It said that one of the scenes involved Mark Hamill as Luke shouting out dialogue related to the origins of the galaxy, where the visual effects planned to be keyed into the green screens will include new truths about the origins of the galaxy visually speaking, and the Force, as well as the introduction of the Wills. Additionally, it's described that this also ties into a moment in which Mark Hamill filmed a scene where he was standing in front of both Kylo and Rey, kneeling down and showing them the netherworld of the Force that will allow Kylo and Rey to see exactly what the Force is and what will change the mindsets of both Kylo Ren and Rey about the light and the dark. It's implied that during the sequence, it establishes the concept of there being no light or dark side, but just the Force itself as the primary use of power for a new order. John Williams is set to record a new special track for the scene during the month of June that will add great emotion for the audience. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, first things first, we do know that Episode 9 really is going to add in a lot of these moments that we have never seen before on the big screen in the Skywalker saga. And to me, in my point of view, adding this type of Force lore, where Mark Hamill filmed all these different scenes as Luke Skywalker's Force ghost, basically revealing new truths about the origins of the galaxy and the Force in general to both Kylo Ren and Rey, as well as showing them the netherworld of the Force and exactly how that's going to include the Wills. Now, this connects to what we just went over not too long ago about Ezra Bridger having some form of connection to the Wills, where the Wills basically guided him out of the unknown regions and got him back over to the Outer Rim through the Beyond. Now, what's really crazy about Mark Hamill is that we do know that Mark Hamill was actually able to provide a lot of his own lines of dialogue in this movie, which is great. And at the end of the day, in my point of view, Mark Hamill is a great writer. He did have a lot of great ideas for The Force Awakens that he actually pitched to J.J. Abrams that J.J. ultimately just, pretty much, put to the wayside and ignored, unfortunately. But Mark Hamill, let me tell you, the fact that he was able to come up with his own lines of dialogue for the third act of the film, especially for this sequence in particular, I think it tells us that this scene is going to feel very rich in material, and the fact that George Lucas was attached to this particular scene as well, I think also means that it's going to really feel like a true Star Wars moment that also provides, new lore entirely. Now, the thing here is this: a lot of people have been expressing concerns about a lot of Force, Jedi, and Sith lore being used in Episode 9 in the wrong ways. Now, in my point of view, I think that this would be a step in the right direction in order to show us the origins of the Force and the galaxy through, of course, the dialogue of Luke Skywalker, and even finally being able to see the netherworld of the Force through the eyes of both Kylo Ren and Rey, and exactly what they're actually going through. Now, the whole purpose of Luke Skywalker showing them the netherworld of the Force, it's explained that this is all to show them that Basically, there is no dark or light, but just the Force itself when it comes to the Netherworld, and that this is going to be established in the New Order. Now, I don't know about you guys, but from what J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are really trying to do with Episode 9, it really does seem like that they are trying to build towards something bigger and more magical that could very well take its shape or manifest itself into the form of a future Star Wars trilogy, or maybe even a new movie in the future that takes place after the events of Episode 9. And with that being said, guys, like I always say, and like I've always expressed before, I really do have a lot of high hopes by J.J. Abrams. I really am crossing my fingers, day in and day out, just hoping that JJ is going to be able to knock this movie out of the park in order to really set the sequel trilogy correctly. In my point of view, I think that The Force Awakens, was a mediocre film at best in my point of view. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining, but at the same exact time, there were a lot of similarities to that of A New Hope. The Last Jedi, obviously, I had a lot of issues with, and now Episode 9, from everything that we have been hearing, it really seems like it really is going to be quite possibly the best Star Wars film in the sequel trilogy itself. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.